And welcome to another episode of the Football Smack Talk Show. I am your host, Ryan.
I'm Eric.
Welcome in, everybody, to yet again another Victory Monday here on the show. The Eagles are 6-0, just defeated the Dallas Cowboys on what was a fantastic Philly sports weekend. In fact, a great Philly sports week, honestly.
Yeah, that was probably aside from when the Eagles won the Super Bowl, could you think of a better week in Philadelphia sports?
It's probably been since then.
Yeah.
For sure. Everything was just humming along for Philly sports fans, with the Phillies eventually going to be playing Tuesday in the NLDS against the Padres
You
and
mean the NLCS?
NLCS. Sorry, yes, NLCS.
Yeah.
Against the Padres, and it capped off a great week against the Cowboys, which. It was funny. It didn't feel like your normal Cowboys week just because of everything that was going on with the
Right.
Phillies, which actually I kind of liked, because it was kind of like this low-key like Dallas week. But then, once Sunday hit, once, the Phillies got their thing going and we knew that was taken care of,
Right.
then the shift happened over to the Eagles. And I got to tell you, Sunday was the place was rocking.
Yeah, it was. It was like we were sitting on a powder keg waiting for the place to erupt, and it did. It erupted. It was awesome. What a great environment to be in.
Yeah, a lot of the newcomers to the team said in interviews after the game that the place was absolutely insanity. He'd never heard it that loud, and he's like, people in Philly are nuts. Like, this is a regular season game, man. Hey, what's going on, David? How about them Eagles? Sirianni coming off the field and into the locker room, kept chanting that. By the way, can I just say real quick, every week I feel like I love Sirianni a little bit more. And I feel like a lot of people thought his kind of hokiness and whatever was a little disingenuous, but like you can obviously tell like that's who he is. And like the fact of the matter is, with everything that happened towards the end of the game, and he was shouting across, MF for this and game over, and like I like that. I like that fiery, like, I got to protect my guys mentality. And, it really does come across really well here in Philly. It's a perfect place to kind of have that attitude, to be honest.
If there was ever a coach that was just made for Philadelphia, I think Nick Sirianni was just born with that attitude.
Yeah, he's slowly really creeping in as far as getting that kind of, honorary Philly title there. So
he's an honorary Oos, right, David?
Yeah,
you wouldn't get that term.
I actually would. Thank you very much. You're talking about the tribal chief. Snap!
Somebody with some bloodline knowledge.
Snap! That'll never happen again. that off chance that I happen to have seen a random video on whatever, that I happen to get that reference, that will never happen to me again.
Nick Sirianni standing there saying, "Yeah, acknowledge me."
Yeah, and you lost me.
Yeah.
I very little knowledge. But yes, he really is. Yeah, and it's it's really good to see. And again, I think the players really respond well to that, and they have responded well to that. So let's talk about this game, and if you're watching here, whether it be through Facebook, we appreciate everybody on Facebook, or if you're on our YouTube, or if you're watching us through the Painted Lines, give us a shout out. Hey, just say "Go Birds." Let us know how you thought about the game, etc., etc. Always don't feel free to be quiet. Always say something. Let us know you're in the chat. But let's talk about this game.
Yeah.
We, again, the surprise Meek Mill like 30-second concert, which was a little strange, but again, it obviously worked. You could even see the players. Like he was right
Yeah,
there
they were into it.
in my corner where I was. So I was like right there. So he came out. It was great. You saw the players were getting hyped. The fans were going nuts. Like all he has to do is play that song in Philadelphia, and like a million people are just going to get so hyped, just because of what that song means to Philly and the Eagles. So yeah, he comes out, gets the crowd going, and we kick off. We got a good stop. We go on offense. We get a first down or two. Don't really get much going, but eventually, we get the ball rolling, and just like that, I feel like we're up 14-0.
Right, and of course, the second quarter, the money quarter.
Seriously, it's like I don't understand it. It's like first quarter, they're just kind of setting stuff up and getting the ball rolling. They'll probably score a little bit, but man, once the second quarter happens, it's like something awakens in them, and they're just like, "Oh my God, what are we doing? We have to score all of the points now." Like, there's no time to waste. They quite literally have more points in the second quarter than I believe 11 or 12 teams have total so far in 6 games. What?
Yeah, it's mind-blowing. For whatever reason, man, the second quarter, they kick it into another gear. And now, it definitely played out that way last night. Partially, they're driving at the end of the first quarter, and it just carries over into the second quarter.
Well, that's the thing. I think that's what's happening to them, is that, the first half of the first quarter, they're just kind of setting up, seeing where they can go, whether run, pass, or what they have open. And towards the end of the first, they start getting it figured out. And then generally, yes, like you said, good drive that happens to end in the second. So you usually get an early score in the second. And then they're boom,
and
boom.
it snowballs from there.
Right.
And they're a front-running team. Like, this is what the Eagles are. They love to get out ahead of you. And then once they get a lead, it's like everything builds off getting that initial lead. They can then, run the ball, and like they're running with purpose. Like when they have a lead, it's like the Eagles just run angry.
Yeah.
And I was saying the last night, man, like that in that fourth quarter, like it's like they were pissed off that the Cowboys started to make a game out of that. And
yeah, that's the thing. They
just broke down, and they were angry about it.
Yeah, they go up 17-0 and eventually 20-0. Yeah. And it's like, I think they were pissed that they gave up points at the end of the first half. And we go into the second half, and that third quarter is honestly always seems to be the complete opposite.
Yeah, they
sleep. It's like, hey, we have an established lead here. Let's take the foot off the gas. Somebody broke it down. It was really funny.
Yeah.
They called the third quarter the power nap.
I saw that.
It's their power nap time,
and
it's funny, but it's also true because they really do. It's quite funny that they just are like, we're fine, like whatever.
It almost feels like, at least the start of the third quarter, it kind of feels like the start of the game, where it's like, the start of the game, they're looking to see what the other team's going to give them. And it's like in the start of the second half, it's like, well, let's see how the other team adjusted. But it's like, we're allowed to make adjustments too.
Right. They dude, you're 100% right. And I think, that's on both coordinators, I think. And ultimately, obviously, on Sirianni as well. But, I think, again, I think it's imperative of them to keep doing what they were doing. And don't wait for them to adjust. You keep doing what you were doing. And then listen, if you need to adjust after that fact, you're the one in the lead. You're the one in the dominating position. The other team needs to adjust to you because you are the ones that are winning. So, again, I'm not sure what's going on or why this keeps kind of happening the way it is.
Some of that could just be ebbs and flows of a game.
Well, that's the thing. And maybe it just is coincidental. Yeah. And it's just the way things are working out for us, but it's becoming very noticeable. But still, regardless, Dallas clawed back. Good for them. Cooper Rush, obviously was undefeated coming in, 4-0 in his games that he's started, and
Yeah, not anymore.
listen, yeah, not anymore. Listen, we all knew what Cooper Rush was. He was a good manager of a game. He gets the ball
Mhm.
out really quickly, and they kind of dink and dunk their way to these drives, and they
Well, you
slowly.
saw once that he was pressed and he had to make a play, he turned the football over.
Right. Well, exactly. And so but that's what they got into on the
Mhm.
third quarter. They got two really good drives where they were just kind of doing it their way, getting the ball out quick, but slow chunks, little chunks of
Yeah,
yards here and there.
5
And
yards here, 7
right, yeah,
yards there,
you
12 yards.
basically,
Yeah,
you basically bore them to death.
yeah.
And so they got two touchdowns. And we're right back in this game. And, it didn't look great for a little bit there because the Eagles offense had stalled so much. But, when it came down to it, it was the fourth quarter. They
Mhm.
needed to have a drive to kind of put the game out of reach. And listen, they did exactly what they needed to do. And you know what? We have seen so far in the NFL,
Mhm.
we haven't seen a lot of teams that have just been like, whoa, they are dominant. They are
Right.
doing their thing. That team is like a force. It's been more like, wait a minute. These were supposed to be good teams, and they are just like finding ways to lose games that they shouldn't.
Like the
And
Tampa Bay
that's
Buccaneers yesterday, the Green Bay Packers yesterday.
right. They are. I mean, think about it. When we went into this season, I think if we had to name a top five NFC teams, I think
Mhm.
the Eagles were probably six, maybe five. If again, we were
Yeah,
being
maybe they fall in the bottom of your list, but yeah.
right, but yeah. But it was the Rams, it was Tampa Bay, it
Was
was
Green
Green
Bay.
Bay, it was
Yeah.
sure people had Dallas up there because they always do.
Maybe
Maybe
even
they
San
had San
Francisco.
Fran,
Yeah,
yeah, San Fran. Maybe they had Minnesota, like
sure.
a couple of people had the Saints. Whatever,
Which I
whatever.
never got the Saint love, but yeah.
Yeah, same. I think we've actually had like half of a show dedicated to what the hell that was about. But
Yeah, right.
anyway, and you're seeing these teams. Tampa Bay is 3-3. Green Bay is 3-3. San Francisco again. Rams. They're playing like
And
crap.
look, I think we're about to go and we're about to see a run from some of these teams. We're going to find out who they are. Like we're going to find out who are the Rams, who are the Packers, who are the 49ers.
Right.
I think we're about to see all that. And some of that I think is going to be, like we're going to see these teams are really good, and some of them we're going to see they're not so good.
All right. Yeah. I mean, again, we are only 6 games in. We are,
Right.
I guess theoretically, a third of the season in, as it is,
Yeah,
18 weeks.
17 doesn't divide evenly into anything, so it's hard to give a nice.
Well, I mean, I'm just going on the fact
Yeah,
that we are 6 weeks done and there's
right.
18 total weeks.
Okay.
So, yeah. But anyway, so yes, a third of the season is essentially done. And yeah, this second part is definitely where you really figure out a team and what direction they're going to go. And listen, we have started our first part of this season as 6-0.
Yeah.
We are heading into a bye week. We have the Pittsburgh Steelers,
Mm-hmm.
who now granted they got themselves a really nice
Found a way to
victory.
win. Yeah.
They found a way to win, but they're a little banged up. They have a rookie quarterback. The running backs not playing all that great. Their offensive line's a little crap. So again, on paper, that should be a victory for the Eagles.
Sure.
Then we go to Houston, who might be the worst team in the NFL, technically.
Yeah.
And again, that should be a victory. We then go and play the Washington Commanders, who we handled, and now Carson Wentz is out for 4 to 6 weeks.
Yeah.
So you're there with a backup and a team that's already pretty banged up as is, and again, they found a way to win. They found a way to somehow not lose
Mm-hmm.
against a really crappy Bears team
Mm-hmm.
who were, you know, a millimeter away from winning that game. Quite literally.
Which kudos to anybody who stayed up on Thursday night and watched that entire game. Like, I don't know why you would do that to yourselves, but
Why would you do that to yourself?
like, don't like. I feel like this should almost be a therapy session for those people. Like, hey, like, what is it you feel like
I mean,
you've
the
done in your
last
life to
couple of
literally
Thursday night, there
Yeah.
should be a Thursday night group because the last couple have been pretty terrible.
Oh, they've been awful.
But they're gonna get a little better.
Let's
Yeah,
hope.
until the Eagles play.
Well, once we finally get Denver off primetime, we get the heck out
Right?
of that.
Yeah, they
Which-
really misjudged that one, didn't they?
Yeah. And I was one of the guys out here pounding the table, just like with my anti-Saint stuff. I was one of those saying I didn't believe the Denver hype. I thought they would be one of the bigger
Yeah,
disappointments.
there were people calling for them to win the Super Bowl,
Yeah.
and I'm like, what are you like? What are you seeing that
Just
I
like,
am not?
like, are we watching the same game here? Like,
Well, listen, I get Russell Wilson,
Sure,
makes
but-
the team really good, but you also have to have a lot of stuff around them, and
yeah.
you also have to have Russell Wilson being Russell Wilson, and he really hasn't been so far.
No, they've been letting Russ cook hot dogs and hamburgers, maybe.
Yeah, right. Yeah, I was gonna say, I think he's been in the kitchen with them fumes a little too long.
Yeah.
But yeah, so we play the Commanders. That's the next 3 games. And what's the next game after that is the Colts?
Yeah. And that, I mean, look, we don't know who the Colts really are either.
Well, yeah, listen, they tied the Texans. They got their doors blown off of them by the Jacksonville Jaguars early in the season. But then they beat the Chiefs. So that team's literally all over the place. So you're right. You can't kind of get a handle on it. But again, another team that we theoretically should win. And then you go into like the Green Bay and the Tennessee, which again, by that point, they could be totally 2 different teams. They have not been playing great. They could certainly turn that around. So I'm not even gonna get into that portion of the schedule. But honestly, I'm really, obviously you look at it one game at a time, but I'm also not on the, not on the team.
Not on the payroll, yeah.
Yeah, I'm not on the payroll, so I can afford to look forward. I'm really just looking at kind of the next 2-3 weeks as, no problem wins. Wouldn't you agree?
I mean, and that's where, winning's always
I mean,
hard.
it's the NFL. Anything can happen. Blah, 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 blah.
Sure.
But
we live in a world where the Bills lost a game to the Jacksonville Jaguars a year ago, 9-7. And, so that's always my go-to whenever anybody's like, oh, what do you think of the game this week? And one of the things I'll always say is, do you think the Eagles could lose this game? Sure. We live in a world where the Bills lost to the Jaguars 9-7. Yes, I think anybody can beat anybody in this league.
Yeah. No, 100%.
Yeah.
Yeah, so listen, we theoretically, I personally think we should be able to go 9 or 10-0.
Yeah.
Based on what we've seen as this team so far, based on the teams that we have coming up, the fact that we have a week now to get a little healthy. Lane Johnson.
Yeah, Lane will get to go through the concussion protocol, not be rushed back.
And not be rushed and be fine. Listen, shout out to Lane. Because honestly, I don't think I know of another athlete, Philadelphia athlete that is, that is more underappreciated around the NFL, around their league, than Lane Johnson. He is constantly missing out on Pro Bowls. He is constantly not getting the recognition he deserves. He hasn't let up a sack in almost 2 years.
He's the best right tackle in football.
He is 100% the best right tackle in football. Yet, how does he not make all-pro teams, Pro Bowls, etc.? It's because, for whatever reason, he doesn't have a popular name, I guess. I don't understand why not. He's, again, one of the best.
Yeah.
But he quite literally shut down Micah Parsons.
Yep.
Shut him down. This dude was The next
Paul
Lawrence
Burrow, the
Taylor.
Chris Lawrence. Yeah, next
Right.
Lawrence
The next
Taylor.
Lawrence Taylor, this guy. This guy has Cowboy fans up all night dreaming about this guy, just
Yeah,
loving life. And he didn't have a single quarterback hit. He didn't have a single hurry. And that was the entire game, much less with Lane Johnson being out.
right.
So Driscoll came in and did a pretty admirable job on Parsons. And but you saw the domination, Lane, on Micah. And he was getting frustrated, clearly. Got himself a personal foul penalty. There was all that crap at the end of the game. The Cowboys were very frustrated by this time at the end of the game. And
And
the
it was
fact,
beautiful.
oh, dude, the fact that the one dude like flat out just unnecessarily tackled Jason Kelsey,
Yeah.
just tackled him. And it's funny, they asked Malata after the game, and he's like, "What was going through your head when whatever the guy's name is, whatever, didn't win the game." When he tackled Jason Kelsey, and he goes, "I saw red. I saw red." Now, if there isn't a more scary, like line that 6'1" million, 300 million pound Aussie brick of a man says, "I saw red."
I just don't want to be that dude.
I didn't even want to be in the stadium.
Picture.
I didn't even want to be in the stadium at that point.
Yeah, I kind of wish I had left already. Yeah.
Yeah, well, so did Larry.
Yeah, I know. Larry was not happy that it took me so long to get back, and he couldn't get into my car.
God. Yeah, well, that was also my bad. I should have just kept my keys on me and told you to, I'll pick up the sweatshirt somewhere else. But I absolutely, and the fact that Nick Sirianni's on the sideline pointing and yelling, and
I love that guy. Nick Sirianni has become a Philly dude.
I mean, he really has. And listen, you know what excuse me. What a lot of people get hung up on is, there's always something, right? There's always something that you need to improve on or critique. And, the Philadelphia Negadelphia fan is always going to be out in drones. Oh, Jalen didn't have the best game and blah, 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 blah. And this, that, and the other. And our special team still sucks. Like, whatever.
Sure. I mean, Jalen's just a winner. Like, wherever you slice it up, he's just a winner.
He's 9-0 in his last 9 starts. Yeah. I mean, listen, good teams find a way to win.
Yep.
That's all there is to it. No team is perfect. No team is not smart. No team is not working on some phase of their game to get better.
Oh, sure. But, like, the Eagles are doing the things that you always talk about. You know how I always say more games are lost than won in the NFL? Well, the Eagles are like a constant embodiment. You have to go in and you have to beat them if you're going to win. Like, and what I mean by that is the Eagles aren't doing the stupid things like committing terrible penalties, turning the football over, giving teams short fields. They're the team getting the short fields now. Right. They're the team forcing the issue and creating the turnovers. Like the Eagles won the turnover battle last night with 3-0.
Yeah, no, I mean the simple fact of the matter is, you're right. Their turnover differential right now is tops in the league, which let's be honest,
and that translates to wins.
I don't think I've ever thought I'd ever say that.
I know, right? I mean, it kind of brings us back to that, like, there's like a Philly euphoria right now, but it just feels weird.
Yeah, it's a bubble, and I don't know if it's like, like kind of like the pollution bubble of like the smog of like LA type, that we're all just like living in this like messed up bubble, and but we're all just like, whoa, whatever. I don't care. I'm good.
Yeah. Let us just
with
enjoy this.
yeah. Let us just pretend to be. Let's just ride this high
Yeah.
and just listen. Phillies Thursday, Wednesday, Friday, Saturday, and Sunday. Right? I think
It's
that's the
Tuesday, Wednesday, Friday,
Tuesday,
Saturday,
Wednesday,
Sunday.
Friday, Saturday, Sunday. Yeah.
Yeah.
So listen, I'm calling Phil's in 5. Let's have another victory Monday
Absolutely.
for the Phillies.
I'll come out. Yeah, we'll wear our Phillies red next Monday for the show.
Absolutely.
You know what? Whatever it is, Philly by a million.
Yeah,
We
exactly.
got this.
Philly by a million. I love it.
Yep.
So yeah, let's just ride this wave, Philly. Like obviously, the place was electric down at Citizens Bank Park. Place was electric.
The Flyers are 2-0.
The Flyers are 2-0. The Union just won their conference, and they're in the heading into the playoffs. I mean, the Sixers season starts Tuesday. Like,
yeah.
So normally on Tuesday we do the broadcast at 7, and then we go right into the Birds of the Round Table.
Right.
So because of Tuesday with the Phillies and the Sixers, we were going to try and move it to tonight. But yeah, there's just a lot going on. So unfortunately, there won't be a Birds of the Round Table at all this week.
Oh wow!
Okay. Yeah, it's unfortunate, but that's just because
I was all ready too. I got cleared for the light. I was going to get to participate.
Yeah, right. But just because Tuesday is just like chock full of stuff.
I know.
And it's funny.
I got 2 TVs in my room here. Like one's going to be on the Phillies and one's going to be on the Sixers.
Yeah, I was going to say, what time is the Sixers?
Are they 7:30, 8 o'clock? I think somewhere around that. Like basically the same time as the baseball game.
Ugh,
I know.
Well, that's terrible.
Well, I'm super stoked about Wednesday being a 4:30 baseball start. I know nobody else in the world is excited about it, but you are too.
Yeah, I get off at 4:30.
Oh, that's awesome.
And I can work from home if I like to. So
there you go. So you could go right from.
If it's 1 o'clock.
Yeah.
Even if it's 1 o'clock, that game's going to be on the TV over there, and I'm going to be like, moving my mouse, making sure it looks like a blue and stuff.
Yeah, I'm familiar with those days of doing that.
That is the official song, by the way, of my work day. Moving my mouse.
Yeah, I used to say all the time, like. So when I worked at Vanguard, I was in like one of those row of desks and stuff, and
cubicles.
Yeah, well, yeah, and
bullpens.
Yeah, whatever they call them. Yeah, and like against the other wall, there was a big TV there, and like if I was there on like if we worked on Saturdays, like in March or something like that, they'd have basketball on in there, and I'd always say to my boss, dude, can I ever get like this moved over here? He's no, Eric, you would never.
Not you. Anybody but you.
Yeah, everybody. Oh, we're moving the whole group over to that wall, except you.
Except for you, Eric. You got to face the other way.
Yep.
That's smart management right there.
Yeah.
Yeah. Real quick, just wanted to make sure I mentioned to go ahead and visit laterrain.com. That's www.la-terrain.com. Use code PSA if you are looking for a really, really nice looking watch without having to pay really, really, really nice looking watch prices. They also have great accessories, sunglasses, bands, watch bands for other things. Head on over there. Use code PSA for site-wide discounts. That way they know that we sent you. And you get a nice little, I believe it's a nice little 10% discount, which these days with the gas prices heading back up,
you can
save as much as you can. And then, of course, I also want to make sure I mention everybody who has been joining us tonight in and out from the Painted Lines YouTube channel. We have partnered up with Painted Lines, where we stream directly onto their YouTube. They stream directly onto our Facebook. So if you are on Facebook and you have not followed us or liked us on Facebook, please make sure you do that. And while you're doing that, put on your automatic notifications so that every time that we go live, you will get a little pop-up saying that we're live. and that way you catch all the Philly Sports Alliance shows, but you also get all of the Painted Line shows that come through, and they are about, honestly, it's part of the reason why we're also not doing the Birds of the Round Table, because Dibes, the head over there at TPL, is like foaming at the mouth for the Sixers and is doing all this content. So you can check out all their Sixers content. It's just astounding how detailed and how great of shows that they have, and just clips and videos and quick little deep dives into certain things. So put on those automatic notifications
about that.
Yeah,
Nicholas. And so he's got YouTube on his TV and stuff, like,
of course he does.
Yeah. And so he was like, "Oh, okay." Like, we're just talking about it up in his room. He goes right in there, clicks on it, he's checking it out. He's like, "Holy crap!" He's like, "There's a lot of stuff on here." Like, he was
right.
So he was like stuck on that, and then that wormhole for several.
Yeah, bro, that's the thing is you go into our Facebook and start one video, and it's just boom, 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 boom. Same thing for our YouTube as well. Make sure you subscribe to our YouTube. While you're subscribe to the Painted Lines YouTube as well. Every little bit helps, so we do appreciate all of those who have done so far. But also more importantly, I love chatting with the people who we catch from, that are fans of the Painted Lines and are always popping in our chat. Apparently now I don't know what. I'm not sure what YouTube this bot is from. If I can tell, I think it's from. Damn, I think it's from ours. we got a little spam action here.
Yeah,
you gotta love that. A new dating site for all tastes and ages. Sweet.
Oh, there you go, buddy.
Yeah. Well, that was quickly blocked. Anyway, sorry about that, folks. But yeah, that most likely came from our YouTube. Awesome. So we love chatting with the YouTube, Painted Line YouTube people. They are amazing. So Eric, what are your plans for the bye week? You're going to do like some apple picking with the wife, or some other really exciting event like that?
Well, actually, what'll probably end up being our plans will be watching the NLCS and maybe going to a bar to watch that.
Oh, there you go. That is true.
We're at the Sly Fox for Game 3 of the NLDS.
You what?
We were over at the Sly Fox in Malvern.
Oh, nice.
Yeah, for Game 3 of the NLDS.
Oh, nice. Very good. Yeah. That is one saving grace, at least, that the Sunday baseball will be on. Now, is that, I want to say, is that the early game at 1 or 2 o'clock? Okay.
Yeah, I think it's 1 or 2 o'clock. Yeah, 1:30, something like that. And
well,
I'll have that on along with the Red Zone. I'll probably have the Phillies on. Yeah, if I'm in my room here, I'll just have the Phillies on the big TV, and I'll have Red Zone on the small TV.
That's funny. Well, we'll say, maybe, who knows? Maybe we can get together and
we should do that.
Watch Red Zone and watch Phil's. It'll be a nice little Sunday.
Little Sunday, maybe a little, Home Depot. Not sure if we'll have time.
Only if there's time.
Yeah.
I was gonna say, normally on the bye week, I'm usually like, that's when you kind of throw again Red Zone on, but do stuff around the house and yada yada.
Yeah, that's normally when I would like have it on in like background noise and doing something like recent years. Heck, there's been times where it's been so late that it's been like almost time for putting up Christmas decorations. I know one year the Eagles were either on their bye week or they were on Monday night or something like that, and I had the Red Zone up while I was helping Jody putting up the Christmas tree and stuff.
Wow, there you go.
Which it's a little early for all that, but
yeah, it's a little early for all that. We still got a few months to go for that, but. I was going to say, it's been a while since the Phillies have been kind of factored into bye week.
Yeah, they haven't been. Hey, look, it's been a while since they've just been factoring into my plans, period.
Right, this late. Yeah, exactly. So, No, I hear you. So yeah, it'll be a nice little Sunday.
Yeah.
Well, again, it'll be a nice little weekend. They play Friday, Saturday, and Sunday. So
Yeah,
uh,
that's gonna be fun. I love when they play on the weekend because I get up 4:15 in the morning. Like during the week, I can't stay up that late.
right.
So like tomorrow, like that's gonna be a struggle tomorrow night. But I figure one night I have to stay up like that. I'll muscle through. I'll be all right.
Yeah. How were you? How were you last night? I assume you got home just as
Oh
late
yeah,
as you did.
yeah, yeah. I took. Well, I mean, I took today off from work.
Oh, well, there you go.
Yeah.
You son of a bitch.
I always have to take the day off after primetime games.
Yeah, no, I believe me, I don't blame you. In fact, I will most likely do the same thing for the Commanders game,
Yeah,
taking off Tuesday.
I took Monday and Tuesday off for that week.
Oh snap! Yeah, that's right. I should
Yeah,
probably take it off.
yeah,
Monday.
that's rough. I know, like last year, the Thursday night game against Tampa, I tried to work the whole day. Figured I would get out and get down there in time. It didn't work out for me, and it turned
Well,
into a fiasco
well,
parking.
that's the thing. It's like yesterday really threw me off with how
Right.
crazy it was.
Mm-hmm.
Like again, for some, like you obviously got in there, but at some point they shut it down. And we're like parking passes only.
Right. Well, when we got there, so I got there just before the gates opened, maybe 15 minutes before they opened.
Sure.
And I was, when I was come off Packer Avenue and I go straight past the Philly Stadium, take that next right. Well, I took
Right,
that next right. Everybody's lined up there by the link.
Yeah, you're coming in
Yeah,
between the link and Wells
yeah.
Fargo. Coming in
And
that
so I'm
way.
like, well, I don't know if they're ready to turn into the link or if they want to go up to the Wells Fargo. So I get over. I'm over in I'm in the left lane,
Right.
but not in the left turn lane. I go all the way up to the light, and I'm like, you know what? I just put my left turn signal on. I'm gonna force my way in here when like everybody goes. And
Yeah,
that's what I did. And I was like, I told Mike, I'm like, dude, just hold on. It ain't gonna be pretty here, but I'm gonna get us in here.
yeah. Well, yeah, you got to do what you got to do. And
It was nuts, and it worked out great. But like, and I was like, I know you're an aggressive driver too. Like, and if
oh
you're
yeah.
not, man, like I don't know how you get through and stuff like that.
Well, the thing is, generally speaking, when it's time to go to a game,
Yeah.
we get down there. Again, they say that lots open about 7 hours before the game.
Mm-hmm.
So game was at 8:20, so lots open at 1:20.
Yep.
Generally speaking, we try to be there probably right at that time, or maybe like 15,
You see,
20
we
minutes.
were right outside there at 1 o'clock, and it was
Oh,
jammed.
but yeah. Well, and that's the thing, and that's obviously a byproduct of it being Dallas week.
Yeah.
I'm sure the Phillies have people in a fever, and that
Yeah,
kind of
everybody's excited. They're all wound up. They're ready to go
everybody's
party.
excited,
Yeah.
and yeah, so by the time the other guys that we tailgate with, they were a little bit later.
Yeah,
Not
and they weren't able to get in.
They weren't able to get in because they somehow just shut it down for parking passes only, which is
I think what they do is like they get a number and they hit that number, and once they get that number, it's like, okay, nobody else.
yeah. Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. So then they tried to get into jet row, and that
Right.
didn't work, and even though there were plenty of spots, but
Oh yeah. Oh, believe me, we were standing there, and like, I mean, you know how many times I've taken pictures of all the empty spots around
these
me.
spots around you.
I
Yeah,
mean, like,
exactly.
how the hell is the lot closed? Like,
Right. Yeah, you can squeeze one more in.
Yeah.
And then there's always the people that go and tailgate and then leave.
Yeah, which I mean,
There's always
I've never
there's
done
always
that.
there's always no, never done that. There's always
Yeah.
a flood of people that are popping out,
Mhm.
driving away as you're like getting packed up
It's
and
like,
ready to go to
and
the
how could
stadium.
I not get in here? Like,
Right? Yeah, exactly.
that's one out, let one in. Like, come on. But
Or if you're not staying for the game, don't fucking drive down.
yeah, I'll never understand
like that.
driving down to tailgate and then
And
just leave.
then going home. Yeah,
Yeah.
weird. Like at least keep your car there and go over to Xfinity.
Yeah, go to Xfinity and watch it. Like, so I would think you come down because you want to be in the environment. Like,
Well, yeah, obviously.
stay in the
It's a fun
environment.
environment. It's great tailgating. It's so
Yeah.
much fun just hanging out and drinking, dancing, having
Oh,
food.
like we've been down there when like this team was god awful. Like, I mean, this
Yeah.
year's fun. They're really good, but like,
real fun.
yeah. But like we were there, like we've been there when it's not so much fun, and like,
Mm-hmm.
And sometimes the highlight has been just tailgating.
Yeah,
I
exactly.
remember, what was it,
Well,
2011 into 2012, the Eagles lost like 10 straight home games. And
yeah,
I remember it took until like the eighth or ninth one where I'm like, wait, we haven't won a game in a while
yeah,
here.
right. It's been forever. Well,
And
and that's the thing.
but
It's
that's
like,
how much fun it was that it's like it made me the biggest diehard you'll know.
right.
Like it took me a while to figure that out.
Yeah, but again, also it's like being down there inside the stadium with
Mhm.
your seat, your
Yeah, the
seat family.
seatmates. Yeah.
Like I've only, I've been me and Larry have been in those seats for a little while now. He even said like, dude, how is it possible that he's like, I've been sitting in these seats with he's like, I've been sitting in these seats with my dad for forever.
Yeah.
He's like, you have been sitting in here for a couple of years now. And how does everybody know you more
Yeah.
than they know me?
It's so funny. Like
I go down, I'm like, hey, it's like, what's up,
yeah.
buddy? Like, hey, good to see you again. Blah, 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 blah.
And there's so many of them that I don't know what their names are.
Oh no, I'll
Yeah,
never
you
know
don't know
people.
anybody's name.
I'll never know everybody's names.
Like
But
there's
I
one
know
guy I just know the guy
exactly.
as Fire Andy. Like
Yeah.
that's just all he said
Yeah,
all the time. And when the team was good, like in 17 when he's going nuts when we're in the NFC title game, he's like, yeah, Fire Andy. And so that's when I see him, that's the first thing I yell, Fire Andy.
Yeah.
And I always get that
I
nod
know the
back.
five
And,
people behind us. I know the five people because we're right at
yeah.
the end. I know the five people to the left of me. I know the five people in front of me. I know a couple people here and there around. I know people because we're right on the in between. So I know the couple people that are on the other side of the row. Like I have the dude who dresses up like Jim McMahon.
Yeah, he was that. Yeah, he was
He's
the
in the front
tailgate
row
thing.
of my section. I've literally seen him like 100 times at
Mhm.
other games, like away games. I've seen him in every away game that I've been to.
That's awesome.
So like you just get to know
Yeah.
your stadium family inside, and then you have
they're
your
your seatmates.
your seatmates, and then you have
Yeah.
your tailgate mates, and like
Mhm.
that is the beauty of this life where we have chosen this
Right,
tailgate
and it's funny,
Eagle
like
season tickets,
the guy sits next to me, Tim. Like, obviously we became friends with him, through the games. And he was talking to us one time. He's telling us, "Oh, my daughter's engaged, yada yada." And I remember asking my dad, I'm like, "Do you know his daughter's name?" He's like, "Tim's daughter." I'm like, "Thanks, Dad." Hey, bud.
Say hi there.
Hi, bud.
When we watch TV, I'll be right there. Well, guest parents, that's generally a good sign that it's time to go.
I feel like that's a great execute. Yeah.
That is a great action. Before we do, I want to also mention our partnership with. Did I mess it up? Yeah, I did. With Six Pack Coverage. Six Pack Coverage is a national media company based out of Tennessee. In fact, so I guess they kind of all started. They have a great podcast with the guy who runs things down there, Andrew, and former Tennessee Volunteer, former NFL defensive tackle, great Albert Hainsworth. They do a Tennessee Volunteers podcast. I'm sure the last week
they must have had a good time this weekend.
Insane beating Alabama. I've just been following. They're a great follow on Instagram, by the way.
Oh yeah, I
Six
love
Pack Coverage.
Yeah.
In fact, they've built this like college network. So there's like Six Pack Temple. There's Six Pack.
Maryland too.
Yeah, Six Pack Maryland. Right. So they're just building like major colleges throughout. They're building like small little teams to just like, dude, go have fun, be a college student, be a football fan, be a basketball fan, whatever. Just whatever. And so some of those are really great follows as well, but the main one is really fun. And yeah, I've just been loving their Instagram this past week because they are apparently the field goal. They got the field goal, and it eventually ended up in the Tennessee River. That's just where they took it.
That's awesome.
It's awesome. But yes, we have partnered up with them, so we are kind of doing a bit of a Philly takeover down there. Our brothers from CEV Sports are with us as well, so you can check out all of Philly Sports Alliance and CEV on sixpackcoverage.com. All of our shows are available for download. They do not only do they do sports, but they do lifestyle, fitness, travel, food, finance, whatever kind of you're into. They kind of have a little section of it for you. So check them out, sixpackcoverage.com. You can check us out there as well. Make sure you follow them on all social media, and something's happening over there. My whole house is about to crash down.
Sounds like something that requires Dad.
Yeah, perhaps. So that is going to be it for us tonight. We do appreciate. Yeah. I'm sure you did, buddy. I'm sorry. Well, take a look at it in 2 seconds. Okay. Well, that is definitely our cue.
Yeah.
We are going to say goodnight, everybody. Thank you so much for joining us. David, appreciate the comments. And don't forget, if you're watching us, give us a like, give us a follow. Follow us on all social media, especially Facebook. Put on the automatic notifications. And make sure that you check out us at Philly Sports PSA on Twitter. I think we're coming up on 2,100 follows, which I know is not a huge number, but it's good for us. So we'll take it. So we will see you guys next week. We'll talk about the upcoming Steelers game and hopefully a Phillies World Series appearance.
That'd be nice.
That would have been very nice. So enjoy your week. Enjoy the bye week. Go to Home Depot. Go Bed Bath & Beyond. Go apple picking. Or just watch the Phillies and the Red Zone like us. But that's it for us, Eric. You have anything to add before we head on out?
Nah.
All right. As always, for the Football Smack Talk Show, I am your host, Ryan.
I'm Eric. Happy football, everybody.
All right. Go Birds!